Hello and welcome to part 2 of Engrammatic Eclipse event. Sangoma, the woman who tends to control everything and being somewhat dangerous according to Delancia, is now with the professor and brought us a lost memory fragment of what happened before we actually got uploaded as a commander to Margracia. In this memory, we are at the time after the wipe out incident and now on our way to a special sector of building the Oasis. But first let's help Persicalia and Sol out, whom we met on our way. Part 5. Piecing Recollection. You soothed my pain with your hands and granted me salvation with your spirit. Or maybe we just go back to yeah. Now that I think about it, I was really shocked by you. Suddenly charging at the Sanctifier with a pistol or something. It would be better if you do something like that. Overloads the mind less often. But no matter how many times, I will make the same choice as I did then. Yes, I know. I know it all too well. That's why I think you are special. Sangoma loosened her hair from her fingertips and looked at me with a smile. It seemed that the stories I told are helpful to your memory recovery. Well, more effective than expected. I showed the memory fragments to Sangoma. Tiny lights filled the gaps in the memory fragments, rising and failing as if they were breathing. While listening to you narrating those stories, I also recall a lot of my past with you. The familiarity with that scent was not my imagination. But why did I forget your existence before this? We know that Sangoma have a ability to tamper with the memories. The smile of the person in front of me looked a little more lonely. Let's not talk about this anymore. Next, let's go find Persicalia. After all, she was a witness to that battle. She knows the stories that happen after that better than I do. The role of the wedge ends here. Let her guide you to recall the next memory. Oasis reference room. Excuse me? Professor, you came just in time. Have you received the list of figures and the meeting schedules that we sent you before? Well, I have talked to the first bench of exiles. Thank you for your hard work, Persicalia. As a reminder, they will be uploading the memory hub as separate. That's how I decided, so all the conversation will be there. It doesn't matter, it's just a small thing. I basically sorted the doors in the order they joined the Oasis, and of course I made adjustments based on everyone's individual circumstances. In addition, I have just collected and compiled a lot of information related to the memory recovery, hoping it will be helpful to your memory repair. Thank you. We are here to tell you that your theory is correct, that recalling the past through conversations can indeed be useful to repair fragments of memory. That's great. Wait, us? Yeah, that's right. Yes, I'm here to bother you too. The joy in Persicalia's face disappeared, replaced by wariness of the purple hair figure in front of her. Don't be so guarded yet, Persicalia. With the help of Sangoma, I did recall some key memories. From the time I uploaded it to the cloud, to the time I met you. Do you remember that battle? Unfortunately, the memories I look back on now only ends with discovering you. What happened after that? I hope you can fill me in for me. Jessica looked warily at Sangoma, who was watching us with interest. Professor, could you please take a step to speak? Jessica led me to a corner of the room, deliberately keeping a distance from Sangoma. Professor, don't you think Sangoma is too familiar with both the Oasis and you? Indeed, I think she should have had in-depth contact with the Oasis before. I think so too. Therefore, even if you forgot things about her due to memory loss, there should be more or less relevant records elsewhere. However, I have just looked up all the extant records of the Oasis and have also interviewed early members of the Exiles. As a result, there is no trace of Sangoma in various places. It is like her existence was deliberately hidden. I don't know why she wants to keep her identity, but since she has not been honest with us, it's better to be careful now. I see. Sensing my hesitation, Persicaria seemed to realize that this sentence also extended another direction. She looked into my eyes and held my hand gently. I don't mean you. Only you are different. We have moved forward together so far, and I know very well that what kind of person you are. I know you need to hide your true identity for various reasons, so I have no intentions of delving into it. But no matter who you are, no matter what happened, you will be our professor, and I will believe in you. Feeling Persicalia's truth, I held her hand back. Thank you for the reminder, Persicalia. I will pay more attention. How is it? Are your whisperings over? Sangoma at the side interrupts our conversation, smiled, and waved to me. Well, it's over. Persicaria quietly squeezed my hand as if to remind me to be alert again, and then returned to the table in the data room with me. Is it my turn to tell the story of my encounters with the professor? Persicaria, I know that may be a past of you don't want to think about. If it will touch that pain... Persicaria shook her head slowly, stopping my next words. That's not pain. Meeting you is a salvation I am most grateful for in my life. And our different stage a little bit. Desolate Starfire Stage 1. In the Abyss of Slaughter, the warriors behold a miraculous starlight shining through the darkness. Sol and Persicalia. Warning. Abnormal agents detected. According to the agreement, begin their annihilation process. They have been discovered by the sanctifiers. Sol, watch your back. Hey, I finally collected the supplies, but encountered those guys on their way back. What a bad luck. No matter what, we have to bring the supplies back. That's right. You guys, don't get in my way. Why are those more and more people? Those guys are so annoying. Persicalia, are you okay? How much calculation is left to fight? I think she means hash rate. By the way, we do have a little bit of a different localization this time, so there are a couple of words that are different. I made the wrong decision again. I keep making the wrong choices. On the decision or whatever to go to the Oasis, on the hesitation between several routes, on the question of whatever to leave Ned behind. Faced with many possibilities, I finally chose the worst branch. It's the same this time. Maybe I should not have chosen to risk going out to search for supplies, even after Lind left the team. I should be like Dr. Persicalia and Professor Elita, lighting the way and guiding everyone to the right path. However, I'm just a counterfeit, artificial light source. So in the end, I can only be driven towards the abyss by the predicament, and then watch helplessly as fate takes away the price of the wrong choice. Although I have not realized that I am a counterfeit after all, and I am destined to be unable to make correct decisions like Doctor and the Professor, even so, at least I can no longer let the people around me bear the consequences of my wrong choices. Persicalia? Maybe it would be easier if we no longer had to make the choice, but sacrifice ourselves as a price for going on the right path. Sol, it is my honor to be able to fight side by side with you so far. Although a little selfish, I still hope that the remaining people can survive. I will use the remaining operants to self-destruct to delay time. You can seize the opportunity and leave here in the chaos. What nonsense are you talking about? Sol swung her sword and unleashes a slashing attack while flatly refusing. For Sol, who values the lives of her companions more than her own, such a proposal is something she cannot accept under any circumstances. How did the localization team even... Is it the same person and they go with his and she? What is went wrong here? But that is the only feasible way right now. If this continues, both of us will die here. Like everyone, when you go back, Sol. As a guide, you must be able to find the person who can truly lead everyone. The operants in hand has been condensed. I turned around and launched an attack in the direction Sol was facing, and then deployed the etheric stare to push her out. The self-destruction procedure is ready. Sol, go! The sudden increase in operants attracted the scientifics' attention. They all realized the danger and surrounded me, trying to defeat me before they exploded. But this move is exactly what I want. While gritting my teeth and maintaining the shield to block the attack, I adjusted the distribution of operants as much as possible to put them with the scope of the explosion. It is time to end this. The hand reaching for the start button inadvertently touches the work badge on my chest. I still remember the scene when Dr. Persicalia and Professor Elita handled it to me. Doctor, Professor, did I make the right decision this time? What about the choice? But after ending up at the gunpoint of the Centifiers, I was still a bit unwilling. Gunfires from third party force suddenly joined the battle. Before I could react, two shots knocked out the Centifiers close to me, creating a momentary gap in the ordinary tense surrounding. Now is the time. Procedures changed. The body acted before thinking, and the operants accumulated to the self-destruction program were launched in conjunction with the flow, opening up a path. As I broke through the siege, I looked towards the direction where the gunfire sounded. It was a man in a white cloth. Although it is an unfamiliar face, it gives me a familiar feeling. Fate did not accept my answer and pushed me towards a third path. In the end of this road, still a disaster, or a miracle that has never been seen before. Go to 9 o'clock! This sentence was not shouted at me. I only felt a heat wave approaching, followed by a spin, and then I came back to my senses. I was already being carried by Saul's shoulder. Swift flame slash! What are you doing? Isn't this obvious? Someone is here to save us. Of course I will run with you now. I can do it myself. Your injury. I run faster. It's normal to be missing an arm or leg. It doesn't hurt anyway. Just lie down quietly. Am I miss so? Saul releasing the remaining amount of operants with her sword, while I gently caressed her wounds and treated her. This fierce attack temporarily blocked the Sanctifier's footsteps. Cooperating with the male's reoffensive, might be able to escape the Sanctifier's pursuit. Sorry, Saul. Let's talk about this kind of later. Basically, I have a question for you. Sorry, botnet. No, that's not what I want to ask. What I want to ask is, how many parameters did Dr. Persicale adjust to the chest? Why does it feel so heavy when you hold it? Oh. At this moment, a faint noise came from the communication before war, which was coordinated positions. It should be the person who helped us join now. Let's go to the coordinates and meet him. Completely dodged the question. Okay, leave it to me. She hugged me tightly and ran quickly according to the location indicated in the previous communication. Lighting gunshots ring out behind her. Oh my god. Well, it seems that the Sanctifiers didn't catch up. Although I don't know what methods the guy used, but judging from the results, it is quite useful. Looking at Saul's bright smile that didn't match the scars all over her body, I felt sour in my heart. I healed your wounds. Please. Oh, fortunately, Persicale, you said before that you would hide some of the supplies in other places so that everything would not be wiped out. Then we will go get it. But Saul suddenly came closer, and before I could react, I received a slap on my forehead. It hurts. It hurts? This is your punishment for talking to yourself. Remember, you must never say anything like, after the explosion, in the future. Next time this happens, it won't be simply by flicking your forehead. Oh, I know. No matter what, you cannot give up hope of living, just like today. As long as you persist, a miracle will happen. Oh my god. I rubbed my etching forehead and recalled the figure who saved us just now. A miracle. I hope it is. Ah, Persicale, look. He is here. I looked in the direction Saul was pointing, and the miracle she called, it was coming towards us. The work badge in front of me swayed with the movement, and it contained the title, and title that I was very familiar with. But the name was completely different from the one I knew well. I guess the work badge of 42 Labs. Project Neural Cloud Leader, the Professor. Part 6. Gazing upon distant stars. As you gaze upon distant stars, you find that although the road is arduous, you have never been alone. If you had not appeared at that time, you would have been unable to escape their sanctified round-up. Professor, thank you for your help. Just a subconscious act of bravery. I did not expect you to meet you there, Persicaria. Oh well, it was not my fault that I was able to lure away the sanctifiers successfully at that time. Huh? What do you mean? That woman behind us helped us actually. I looked at Sangoma aside. After noticing my gaze, she shook her head slightly and made a silent gesture towards me. Nothing. Persicaria, let us return to the repair of memory fragments. If my memory is correct, we met shortly after you were out of danger. As I gradually approached the coordinates that Sangoma told me before, I saw a pink-haired and yellow-haired dolls from a distance. It turns out the coordinates Sangoma told me were for me to meet those two dolls. I wonder what happened to her side. Speaking of which, can she really deal with so many sanctifiers by herself? The amulet Sangoma gave me vibrated just right. I opened it and found a communicator hidden inside, and the message she sent was displayed on the dark screen. Don't worry, it's been resolved successfully. It turns out the special function of this sachet is communication. That is a private communication channel between me and you. It will never be discovered. Remember to keep it. I have not replied anything yet. Could it be that Sangoma can read minds? Yes, it is a superpower. Nice to meet you again. Me too. It will be nice to see you all okay. I saw the pink-haired figure walking towards me, and I was about to put the communicator away when I saw a new message popped up on it. My existence must be kept secret. Why though? I want to express my gratitude to you for the rescue just now. Thank you for saving us. You're welcome. That is what I should do. I want to confirm with you. Are you the professor? Yes, I am the professor in charge of Project Neural Cloud. Surely not. Where is the real deal? Although I was mentally prepared, the emergence of the new name was still a bit difficult to adopt to. What's the matter? Pascal. I was a little hesitant about how to respond, although the face in front of me was similar to the one in my memory. In some unclear places, the two give people different feeling. I can explain the difference right now. In order not to reveal my identity, I can only give a short answer to avoid a warning. With all due respect, I have something I want to confirm with you. Professor? Is it really the professor himself? Jessica wanted to continue saying something, but the orange hair doll figure beside her could no longer hold herself back and rushed in front of me. Yes? Judging from their feature code, is indeed the professor I know, but... Seeing the excited expression on the orange-haired figure, Persicaria swallowed back the second half of her words. The professor came to the cloud to save us! Persicaria, great! Fortunately, I went out of collecting supplies. Finding a professor is definitely the most rewarding experience. I guess it can't be counted as supplies. By the way, what's your name? Oh yes, I haven't had time to introduce myself yet. I'm Persicaria's friend, Professor. Just call me Sol. Sol? Hello, please give me some advice. Aw, please, give me more advices. Now with the help of the Professor, Persicaria, you can let go of your burden and feel a little more relaxed. The pink-haired girl turned her back and began to plan her next move while alerting the surrounding. By the way, Professor, are you here to take us back to the real world? Sol's natural questioning goes to the heart of the matter. I secretly looked at Persicaria's side. Although her back was turned to me, her eyes twitched and then stood up when she heard this. Yes. This is a big deal, and others must be notified as soon as possible. I feel it is necessary to explain this point. I considered the existence of Sangoma, and after making slight modifications, I told the two of them what I had seen and heard in the Project NeuroCloud sector. That's pretty much the case. Sorry, it seems I cannot use the upload channel to bring you back to reality. Really? That's really pity. Well, cheer up. You can find a way back after all. I don't understand your reasons for doing this. The pink-haired figure slowly shook her head and looked at me with confusion. Why are you here, knowing you may never return to reality? Whether it's mind uploading or finding a doll, the risk you face far outweighs the rewards. It is more dangerous here than you might expect, even if you just make the wrong choice. She seems to have remembered something, but there was a hint of sadness in her expression. The question is not complicated, Persicaria. I smiled back at the tampering girl in front of me. Because I want to help you, that's all. A gleam of light flashed in Persicaria's tired eyes, but it soon dimmed and went out. Anyone can speak beautiful words. But anyway, welcome to Magracy, Professor. Why cannot I understand what you're talking about? In short, let's take the Professor back to the temporary base. Temporary base? This is where Persicaria found it. Thanks to Persicaria, we all have a place to rest too. In fact, it's just a small area of ruins that is covered and cannot be considered completely safe. Really? I think it's much better than before. Sol scratches her head and continues to introduce it with me with great interest. In addition to the two of us, there are many other adults participating in the NeuroCloud project in the base. If everyone knows that Professor, you have come to the cloud, they will be very happy. Persicalia, you think so too, right? Professor, would you like to go to the base with us? Working with Persicalia and the others will undoubtedly lead to more information. But Sangoma? Just when I was in a dilemma about my choice, Sangoma quietly appears in the blind spot of Persicalia and Sol's field of vision. Then suddenly disappeared, making an okay gesture to me. Professor? Huh? Have you smelled any strange fragrance? Or is it my imagination? The two people in front of me seem unaware of Sangoma's whereabouts, and were still focused on taking me back to the base. The smell you are referring to may be the sachet I'm wearing. Come on, take me to your secret base. I didn't expect that you also encountered a lot. Yes, everyone was rescued thanks to Persicaria's command. Although a temporary base has been established, the shortage of operants and materials has not been resolved. That's why Persicaria and I took the risk to go out of the search. But we happened to encounter the synthesifiers. Oh, lucky you showed up in time, Professor. That's how it turns out. I secretly glanced at Persicalia, who was following us. She has not participated in the conversation between Sol and I since just now, and has always been alert to her surroundings. Even though, when her operants were exhausted, her fatigue had already exceeded the limits, and even her walking speed began to become frivolous. Seeing this, I slowed down and came to her side, silently taking away the supplies she was carrying. Professor, those are supplies I should carry. The part you are carrying is already heavy, so there is no need to help me carry it. At this time, there is no need to show off. If you fall here, Sol and everyone will be worried about you. Persicaria hesitates for a while, but finally said nothing more and followed me silently. Professor, we are here! This is our temporary base. I looked in the direction of Sol's finger. Despite lowering my expectations, the current situation is still much worse than I thought. Also, there are no houses or beds here. The so-called residence is just an area separated by canvas. Well, these are better than nothing. It was a blessing about misfortunes to be able to find the safe place between the loopholes. Thanks to its protection, we were not discovered by the synthesifiers. Ah, you're finally back. Wait a minute. Why are you two so injured? I ran into a trouble on the way to find supplies. Look, I found the supplies you wanted, Crook. We will talk about the supplies later. The grey-haired doll pushed Sol to her side and whispered. Who is this strange white cloud following you? I have never seen him before. Well... Sol pulled me in front of her and smiled proudly. Croc, let me finally introduce you. This is the professor, who is in charge of the Project NeuroCloud. Professor, this is Croc, a mechanical engineer who likes heavy firepower. Hello. Teach, Professor? I'm not sure what she means by teach. Her tone suddenly rose in a high pitch, and she quickly realized that she has made a mistake and chooses to cover it up with a cough. Hesychia, is he really that, Professor? Oh, so the sound effects. Hesychia nodded slightly and quickly changed the topic to the situation at the base. Croc, did anything happen at the base while Sol and I were away? I just took a look and found that the amount of reserves was reduced by some compared to before I left. We were harassed by centifiers shortly before your arrival. I had to activate those backup operands. Although the battle was somewhat difficult, fortunately, the centifiers were finally driven away. The pink-haired girl bit her lip and manipulated the data on her panel again. It seems like it's no longer safe here. I will plan subsequent actions based on the remaining calculations. Please wait. Hesychia suddenly staggered and almost fell. With quiet eyesight and quick hands, I supported her. Huh? Hesychia, are you okay? It's okay. I'm just a little tired. Let's take a break. It won't affect your work. Looking at her trying to stand up, I finally noticed the most fundamental difference between the figure in front of me and the Hesychia I knew. Oh, don't tell me this is what I think. Oh, new name for Croc. Croc, can you send me the situations around the base and the current calculations and distribution? Clear. Professor, you are? I touched the panel and quickly sent the recalculated data back to Croc. I temporarily increased the operands amount used for defense, and at the same time planned several routes suitable for transfer. Let's rest today, and we will move to the base tomorrow. So there should be no problem for the time being, right? Professor, your movements are so fast. Let me check it out. The data is correct and can be executed. Sol, I leave Hesychia to you. I miss Sol! Look at this expression of hers. Receive? By the way, how did they manage to butcher her name all the time, even if their model even have the Sol name? I guess I don't watch the models. Croc, when Hesychia and I will go for treatment first. And then I will ask you to introduce the temporary base to the professor. Is it true? Are you asking me, the club, to take the professor on a tour? Before she could refuse, Sol has already taken the tired Hesychia and left in a hurry, leaving only Croc and me, messy in the wild. Professor, I have never taken anyone to visit here before, so I might not be able to explain it very well. Relax, and don't be too nervous. Just go at your own pace. At your own pace. After thinking for a moment, the grey-haired figure looked up and asked me timidly. So, Professor, do you like Armata? Right. Multiple locks, powerful cannons, swords falling from the sky, the strongest and most handsome. All in all, I highly recommend this X model, very friendly for newbies. After discovering that we had the same interest, Croc immediately started chatting and chatted with me about many topics about Max during the introduction to the base. As we arrived at the area where supplies are being managed, a cute parrot popped out of a cardboard box. It climbed on top of me, nuzzling me with its head and making endeavoring noises. Sacho? Sweet? Huh? Is this little cutie? Ah, Sacho. Sako, where are you? Oh my god, this is Simon's pet. Simo pets. I was like worried about which name is it. Is it like the correct name or is it one of the wrong translated one in this chapter that we have a lot? Just but I was wondering about this. Several dolls figures appeared, shouting anxiously and searching for something. Is the Sako you are looking for, this little guy? Oh, that's right. Simo, I found Sako. The ferret owner gave the command and called it back to him. Thank you for stopping Sako for me. Did he cause any troubles for you? Nothing. His name's Sako. Oh, Sako, please give me advice from now on. Chip? What a cute little guy. This is really rare. I didn't expect Sako to be so close to someone he met for the first time. Rogue, who is it? Everyone, this is the person in charge of the Project NeuroCloud, the Professor. Professor? Everyone, this is my first time meeting you. My name is whatever you choose for your Professor. Let me introduce to you, the mate here is Centaurus here, who is usually responsible for the distribution of supplies in the area. The person next to her is Aki, who is responsible for managing the calculations reserves. The Farron owner is Simo, who, like Sol, is responsible for scouting and collecting supplies. Wow, that name they did not butcher. Wait a minute, why am I the one introducing them all? Come on your own. With the help of Croc, I introduced them to each other and quickly got to know each other. While talking, Centaurus handed me a glass of water. Have a drink of water, sir? Sorry, we are short on supplies right now, and there's nothing decent we can use to entertain you. Thank you, Centaurus. I look at the familiar face in front of me and recall the time when I performed missions with her in reality. How much material reserves are there in the temporary base now? The mate in front of me slowly shook her head, looking troubled. We're now trying our best to save the allocated calculations among without telling Persicalia, and further reduce the usage expenses. But even including the supplies brought back by Persicaria and Sol is only enough for us to consume for another week. The situation is worse than expected. However, I don't quite understand why you keep their operance secret from Persicalia. If the truth to be told to her, she will definitely reduce her share and give it to us. We don't want to add any more burden to Persicaria. As our leader, Persicaria has to work hard for our survival and safety every day, silently shouldering all the problems. Even if we offer to share their burden, she will smile and reject it. Therefore, we can only help as much as possible without telling her. Simo stroked Sako gently, closed his eyes and remained silent. That Persicaria has always been such an awkward existence, but thanks to her, we can gather together as safely as we go now. Don't worry, Professor. Although Persicaria is very stubborn, Sol and I will stop here when necessary. Someone can... whatever. As for supplies, as long as everyone works together, there will eventually be a solution. Everyone in front of me encouraged each other and never complained, or gave in even the situation was difficult. It reminded me of those girls in reality. With you here, no matter what difficulty I have, I can overcome it. By the way, I also want to confirm the number of dolls in the temporary bells. Are all dolls here? There are also some figures who were injured in the previous battles and also currently undergoing treatments and rest. In addition, Centaurus shook her head and said no more. Everyone also showed some sad expressions, and the atmosphere became stagnant for a while. Just then, a familiar voice broke the silence from behind. Besides that there's me and Persicaria, the professor should be familiar with us already. Sol, has your injury been treated? Of course, look, there's nothing wrong with me, and I can live and breathe, don't you think? She tried to move her body to prove that she was okay, but it was obviously beyond her ability. Maybe it is because I didn't sleep well yesterday and my neck stiffened? It's a small problem. Don't be brave. You should take good care of yourself now. By the way, how is Persicaria going now? I just forced her to sleep. If no tough measures were taken, she would probably choose to ignore the pain and continue walking. Professor, could you please take a step to speak now? I followed Sol to a tent in the temporary base. Not far from us, Persicaria was sleeping soundly on the table, with a pile of information waiting to be flipped through. Well... Sol lowered her voice very softly and smiled at Persicaria's sleeping face. It's been a long time since she slept as soundly as she did today. Fear has not come up. She would not have known how long she would have been able to show off. Professor, have you noticed it too? In a sense, this guy is actually dumber than me. Sol, what exactly did you go through before I came here? What turned Persicaria into what she is now? This is exactly what I want to talk to you about, Professor. Let me tell you what happened before. She recounted the twists and turns she experienced along the way. Whether it was Ned's death or Lynn's departure, Sol didn't hide anything and told me everything she knew. After Lynn left, Persicaria became what she is now, slightly taking all the responsibilities alone. In the past, Ned helped her share the pressure, both physically and mentally. Now, I knew what she was doing was wrong, but I didn't know how to stop her. Sol, can you let me think about these things along, please? Okay. Sol quickly understood my intentions. She opened the tent and left, leaving Persicaria and me alone. For the next words, just think that I'm talking to myself. Persicaria, I know you don't fully trust me yet. I don't know how much you will believe my words, but never so, I still want to tell you. Ned's death was no one's fault. Whether it is you or her, You just made the only choice at the time. That's all. The sound of even breathing came from Persicale's direction, and she obviously has no intentions to waking up. While you were asleep, I had already communicated with everyone in the base. They are all worried about your condition and hope you can have a good rest. Your next plan is to take everyone to the Oasis, right? I also want to see the Oasis you described with my own eyes. That will help you. No, I will realize this wish with you. I stood up to leave, then suddenly remembered that I had something important to say that I had not conveyed, so I turned back. There's one thing I forgot to mention. Being able to bring everyone together and build a stronghold with nothing. Persicaria, thank you for your hard work. Next, leave it to me. I closed the tent, curtain and left, leaving some room for the quiet sobs. Sangoma, are you nearby? Seeing no one around, a purple-haired human figure appeared from somewhere else, lowered her bamboo head and came behind me. When did you notice I was there? According to Croc, she had just repelled the centifiers in front of the base not long ago. Judging from the time, Persicaria and I could have met those centifiers on the road. You were able to reach the base smoothly because you lured them away, right? However, when it comes to noticing your tracking, the communicator in the shed should have its own positioning function, right? After being discovered, he did not explain much, but just smiled and changed the topic. Ah, you here completely guessed it. It seems you're even better than I thought. But calling me out specifically was not just to show off your reasoning ability, right? I also want to confirm your safety. I just want to see you, okay? Oh. You're so considerate. Don't worry. I already said it was resolved smoothly. Being able to deal with so many centifiers by yourself, it seems like you're stronger than I thought. Tell me, what do you want me to do? I want to lead everyone here to the Oasis. And for this, I need your help. Huh? What do you want me to help you? I want to avoid fighting the centifiers as much as possible on the way to the Oasis. To do this, I will investigate the centifiers' patrol routes and formulate a plan. But if we encounter an unavoidable battle while moving forward, Sangoma, I hope you can lend a helping hand. After all, with everyone's current armaments, there will inevitably be casualties when encountering them. The battle between Persicaria and Sol is still vivid in my mind. They can no longer bear the pain. You really know how to force others into difficult situations. If I want to help you without exploiting myself, the difficulty index will be doubtless, right? I want to ask before, why do you hide yourself? This is a secret. But have you ever heard of the story of the crane replace a favor? If you forcefully reveal the mystery out of curiosity, the crane will fly away. She narrowed her eyes and put the giant thigh back behind her. I can help you. However, how will you repay me after everything is done? Is there anything you want? I will satisfy you as much as possible. Huh? I haven't thought about it yet. Sangoma disappears into the darkness again. The shadow cast by the brim of her head covered most of the expression, leaving only a smile. I will let you have credits for now, and I will ask you for it when I think of it. Okay, I promise you. I look in the direction of the tent and secretly make up my mind. Cleansing Down, Part 7. Dreams become reality, and the slumbering sector is awoken once again, becoming the home of the exiles. Everyone has a very difficult time before arriving at the others. Yes, in fact, the most painful thing is not the shortage of supplies or one's own safety, but the loss of the way forward. For us dolls, without humans' instructions, there is no longer any meaning for existence. In that case, the Oasis is just a phantom of hope, and we don't know whether it is correct or not to go there, and what to do after that. Fortunately, with you present, everyone can truly feel at ease. In other words, the reason why Oasis can become Oasis is precisely because of your presence. That's right. Pesicari's hot gaze made me blush a little, and I could only cough and looked away. Professor, do you remember what the Oasis was like at the beginning? Pesicari took out a small transparent bottle from her arms. Because it has been carefully taken care, the glass inside was still green. Not. Presumably, the Oasis is also a place full of green where everyone can live a carefree life. Yeah, in this case, I will just pretend to be a little bit more of grass and see if the Oasis will be what we imagine. Because of the name Oasis, too many wishes and expectations have been placed on this place. It is precisely because of those thoughts that nourish this place that it has grown as it does today, vibrant, green, full of vitality and hopes. I think this may be a miracle born of the efforts of you and everyone else. Pesicarea! We are not far away from the Oasis. Well, at the current speed, we will be there in about half a day. Oh, very good. Along the way, we had to take long detours to avoid the centifiers and treat the wounded. It was very hard for everyone. When we arrive at the Oasis, we will have enough operants and no longer had to be in such a tight situation. Yes, it will be definitely getting better. I looked in the direction of the professor not far away and saw that he was talking to Centaurus here, apparently confirming their reserve of the resources. Since the professor came, I feel that everyone's atmosphere has become much better. He will help Simo and I go out collect ingredients, and we'll make plans based on the sanctified route. And he would also discuss magpies with Krog and talk to Hubble and Fresno about the topics that I don't understand. Although he has only been here for a few days, it feels like I have been with him all for a while ago. He knows everyone involved in the Project Neuro Cloud so well and he is worthy of being a professor. Sol, what do you think of him? Him? Oh, Persicaria, you mean the professor? Also, the use of operands is not yet matured, but overall it is a trustworthy person. That's it. Sol's innocent smile once again shook my determination to tell the truth. The longer we spend together, the more convinced I am that he's not the Professor Elita, and I'm not even sure if Elita their actual name is. If it were her previous self, she would definitely expose his disguise in person and question his identity and purpose in front of everyone. But now that he has become the pillar of everyone's heart, do I really want to choose to tear apart the lies and force everyone to accept the truth? What should I do? Persicaria, are you okay? Why do you look so lethargic? Maybe it was too late to handle the work yesterday. Sorry for worrying you. Now that the professor is here, Persicaria, please stop forcing yourself so much. Look at the dark circles under your eyes, and your face is white as paper. Have you had not a good rest this past few days? After all, there's still a lot of work to be done. Alas, with the density of your dark circles, if you change your cloth, you can transform into Dr. Persicaria herself. Yes, if the person standing here was not me but Dr. Persicaria, everyone would definitely be more... I don't think so. The doctor I know cannot handle so many trivial matters as seriously as you. Huh? I was startled and turned around to see a familiar figure. The professor walked up to me, looked into my eyes, and said seriously, "You don't need to get close to the Dr. Persicaria. You just have to be yourself." Professor, have you confirmed your resource reserves? Well, we don't have much reserves on the hand anymore. I hope the supply in the Oasis are enough. I lower my head, as if notifying my hesitation. The professor tapped my shoulder. By the way, Persicaria, can you and I go to the Oasis to investigate first? It happened that some injured people need the rest, and we also need to find out the current situation of the Oasis. It would be better to let everyone go there after ensuring safety. What about me? You will be safe if there are combatants here. The route has been investigated and confirmed to be safe. The wounded here need more protection, so just stay and protect everyone. Yes, leave it to me then. I will go check on everyone's situation. Sol put the long sword into its shields, made a gesture of "it will be okay as long as I'm here," and turned around to leave. I'm indeed worried about the situation in the Oasis. I should be said that you're worried, reminded me. After so much time has passed, the condition of the Oasis may have changed over the time, making it no longer a well-resourced and secure base. So go, Persicaria. Let's go to the Oasis first to check the situation. Soon we arrived at the Oasis. The huge sector is sleeping before our eyes, like an unknown destiny waiting to be unsealed. This is an oasis. See? Not. We are finally here. Persicaria? I'm fine. It is time to get ready to check out the current situation of the Oasis, Professor. Okay, let's go then. It seems to require message permission to launch it. I will do it. As a long-term blockade of the sector slowly disappears, I felt that my mental speed gradually became faster. It can almost be said that the state of the Oasis determines our future destiny. I pray that there are sufficient operands and comprehensive research materials left by the Professor Elita here, and there may be even a way and passage back to reality. Oh, familiar beep beep beeps. With the brief beep of the fireball system, the answer to fate appears before my eyes. There was nothing there. Supplies, research materials, intelligent agents, all the data were brutally deleted, leaving only a blank space and data logs floating into the thin air, proving that there were traces of information here. I felt dizzy and used the remaining strength to hold on to the mega hope and try to retrieve the sector. Data detection in progress. Detection complete. The amount of data stored in this area is 0. I guess the O in the Oasis stands for 0. I stared blankly at the screen until those cold numbers gradually distorted, and the error message from my memory system keeps ringing in my ears. False hope are scattered, and the promised land that has sustained for us for so long is nothing more than a dream. Why? Why is it so? Not sacrifice should not have resulted in such result. Is this what we have all been looking for? What to do next? How am I going to tell everyone about this? By the way, we are in Persicari's perspection. It's not the professor right now. Sure enough. Was this another wrong decision? Sure enough, Persicaria! Persicaria! Did you hear that? Professor? Where do you think the location of the headquarters is more appropriate? Is it better to be closer to the dormitory or closer to the engineer bureau? What? Were not you listening just now? Let me re-explain the construction plan I envisioned. Why? Seeing the professor's unwavering expression, I blew out the questions in my heart. There's nothing here. There are no supplies and no information. The thing you mentioned simply does not exist. Can you be like this? They will exist. His tone was very firm, as if it were taken for granted. But what you said needs to be calculated. Just go out and collect like before. I will then work with the field team to understand the surrounding environment and mark the materials points. In this way, the process of obtaining operands will become more stable. And so, we still need to face the threat of the centifiers. The firewall system just now can operate normally, which proves that the basic security within the sector can be granted. As for fieldwork, I will sort out the action routes and pattern based on the information collected about the centifiers, and then I can avoid them as much as possible. But in the end, there's no way back to reality here. Then go find ways to research. Project Neural Cloud is already the direction of our research, isn't it? I said I will bring everyone back to reality. His film eyes seemed to have already seen the future. Although this place failed to become the Oasis we expected. You see, it is already better than your previous stronghold. More importantly, wouldn't it be nice to be able to build our own Oasis with our own hands in the future? If there is no Oasis, create one. If there is no way, find a way. Turning away hopes into reality, Persicaria. Isn't it what you have been working hard for to go? Sorry, this is too good. Professor saving the day! As always. He smiled again, took my hand, and pointing to the clearings. Look, trust be the headquarters here. Build dormitories, warehouse, and engineers' bureaus here. They are also processing plants, plaza, and maybe even a commercial street. Following his description, the building that only existed in imagination seems to have really rise from the ground and were assembled together to look like what we expected. By the way, it would be best to have facilities to simulate the weather. The weather in the cloud is not like reality. Although there's no need to worry about the impact of bad weather, it's always the same, and you will gradually lose your sense of time. Look in the blue sky and steady skies. You can have a real sense of your own existence, and then you can think, you must return to reality to see the real sky. But there's no blue sky or steady skies in reality. That's just right. Isn't it great to be able to see things in the cloud that are impossible to achieve in reality? A clasped hand conveys warmth and affirmation at the same time. I don't know when the self, blames, sadness, and worries have disappeared. I didn't expect you, Professor, to be such an optimistic person. We don't have many resources left, right? I think, Persicaria, you have too many things to worry about. If something is missing, we will make up for it, and things will get better gradually. His words are magical and trustworthy. You asked me before, what if the Oasis is not what everyone expected? We still have a lot of time to make this place what we want to be. This is our home until we truly return to reality. Homeland is such a strange but desirable word. It turns this dream into reality and brings it to us, who have been abandoned by humans and exiled in the clouds. Let's wake up here first. If you want to start the sector, well, the specific operations method, I need you and my permission to operate the terminal there, like this. You operate the terminal to wake up the sleeping sector again. Everyone in the distance should also be able to see the light that lights up at this moment. The flag of the Oasis rises in the clouds, like a lone star in the night, lighting up the way home for the dolls. Not long after activating the Oasis, the remaining dolls joined us smoothly. It seems that they were also infected by the professor's optimism. When they saw their empty Oasis, everyone was not disappointed, but enthusiastically discussed how to build it in the future. By incorporating everyone's idea, their vision of the future become more vivid and detailed, as if it's within reach. Once you have concrete goals, work become more fun. After that, he and I work until late at night. Professor, you have been working for so long, and it's almost time for you to take a break. Oh, I didn't expect it was ready at this point. It's easy to lose track of time when you are busy. But it's just right. Look at my results. I looked at the small pad that the professor had carved out in front of me, where tables and chairs were built with some simple materials, as well as a terminal displayed a map. This is the operating room. From now on, this will be the command room of Oasis. Command room? Yes, we will encounter many unexpected difficulties in the future. In order to cope with the occurrences, the Oasis must have a place where we can direct and communicate. Things like the Oasis construction plan, unable calculation statistics, and the placements of the dolls can all be planned here in the future. Although it is still a bit rough now, it will gradually get better in the future. Looking at the tired but enthusiastic professor, I could not help but raise the concern of my mouth. It turns out you are busy with this. In fact, just tell Crook your ideas. She should be much more skilled in calculating operands and consulting than you are. I occasionally want to try it myself. Really? I think it is more important for you to take actions. After all, it is you who will use this place and lead the Oasis from now on. But... The professor frowned, as if he was worrying about how to choose his words. I mean, Persikai has always been the leader. What's more, I should still be in your inspection period. I didn't expect you to use the term inspection period. If you say so, you have already passed the inspection period. Over this time, I have also realized that only you can shoulder the burdens of living Oasis. Just like today, it was you who led everyone to describe the future of the Oasis. There are many things that cannot be accomplished by just relying on my words. I rubbed the table in the command room and waited uneasily for the professor's reply. Immediately, I heard the professor sigh, turned around and leave. Is the responsibility of leading Oasis still too heavy? After all, he's not the Professor Elita himself. Along the way, he has done enough for every doll. I should have been used to being alone for all this time. But when I thought that this small command room would become empty again, I felt sad in my heart. I tried hard to suppress this emotion, trying to think out of my chaotic mind. Everyone at the Oasis is still waiting for me. Let's start with the resources issue tomorrow. Suddenly, a white mug and a rich aroma were handed into my hands, and the rising mist covering those complicated thoughts. Professor? A minute. This is coffee? Yes. I calculated the time, and it was almost finished. And I also thought that Persicalia you might need it now. So I went to get it. It should barely be enough as a gift. Sorry, it's so late. Will drinking coffee affect my rest? He left? Just to get the coffee? When I thought about my worries just now, the temperature of my face could not help but rise a bit, so I had to use rhetorical questions to try to cover up my panic. No, it doesn't matter. It just that this is in the cloud. Where does this coffee came from? Looking a little embarrassed, I turned my blushing face away. Centaurus and I tried the default items generation program in the sector. As an experiment, we first used the coffee recipe. Drink it quickly and see if it is any different from what you drank before. After repeating urging, I raised my glass and slipped in response to his words with some hesitation. Warm temperature, mellow taste, and the right level of sweetness that may be too sweet for others, but for me. Tasting this familiar taste after a long time made me almost cry. Delicious. How do you know my taste? After all, I know Dr. Persicalia, and I wonder if the dolls she created would also have the same taste as her. And she also liked to drink sweet coffee. That's indeed the case. I held the cup, and the warmth spreads from my hands to my heart. I thought you just didn't want to continue the topic, so you left. Oh, I just felt that you are not in the good state. And I thought some coffee would make you happy. It does seem to be quite effective. As for what you said before, leaving the Oasis and leading the dolls, I have already made this realization. I said, I will bring everyone back to reality. Great. I didn't see the wrong person. I breathed a sigh of relief and gently rubbed the water grains of the rim of the cup caused by the heat. I felt relief because I got a positive answer. Only? The professor sat next to me, rubbed his temples, and showed a troubled expression. It is just that there are many things that cannot be accomplished by just relying on my words. So I want to ask you too. Will you join me leading the Oasis, Persicaria? We got the song. This is too good. Oh, the music hits also hard. Looking at the professor's hand stretched out to me, something blurred my vision. When I realized that were tears, they were already dripping into the cup, causing ripples in my heart. Can I really do this? I'm not as smart and decisive as Dr. Persicalia, nor can I make the right decision. I have said it before. You don't need to be like Dr. Persicalia. Persicalia, just be yourself. I brushed away my tears and smiled. No matter who you are, it is impossible to do everything by yourself. So I need you. Come with me, Persicalia. Although I was still uneasy and timid in my heart at that moment, I was willing to believe in the future described by him. I took the hand offered by the professor. Well, please give me more advices in the future. Call? Professor, are you sleepy? Oh, well, yeah. I have been so busy recently and I started to feel tired after relaxing. It seems that no matter which world you work with, working long hours is physically and mentally damaging. So, Professor, would you like some coffee to refresh yourself? I put the coffee into his hand. After drinking this cup of coffee, let's start from the beginning. Took it with a smile, but after only one sip, he stuck out his tongue uncomfortably. So sweet! After all, you brewed it, so I thought you could accept the taste. However, the days ahead are still long, and you will slowly adapt. Will? That's the only thing I'm sure of. I still hope not. Anyway, how about dealing with the pair of the information about supplies first? After that is done, let's take a rest. Good. A warm feeling came from his side. From now on, I no longer have to bear this alone. A sense of security and sleepiness came over me. I should be able to have a good sleep tonight. Oh, please, don't do it, don't do it. No, the artists have a good sleep and nothing bad happened. It seems I came at the wrong time. Sangoma emerged from the darkness and watched me wrap a blanket around the sleeping Persicalia. Persicalia has not had a good rest for a while. Is that so? The child looks like she's sleeping soundly. I waved to Sangoma and took her to the room that I had simply built just now. Oh, it is your dormitory? Well, in such a short time after arriving at the Oasis, we can only create separate places for everyone to rest. Fortunately, it is more convenient to build in the clouds. Let's not talk about this yet. Not contacting for so long. What happened to you? Hey, are you worried about me? You can also say that. If you encounter any troubles, I can do my best to help. I didn't encounter any troubles. I just went to catch up with my good friends. I have seen your material situations. It's a great job to reach the Oasis successfully with this kind of resources. Consumption. As a reward, a loving hug. We'll stay our distance. Forget it then. Hey, I thought you would like it. So, what are you going to do next? Tanga puts away her smile and showed a serious expression. Although you have successfully awakened the Oasis sector, the problems you have to face next are more than mountains. That's right, collecting resources, building the infrastructure of the Oasis, looking for dolls. Anyway, let's start with collecting resources. Now, many of the wounded have regained their fighting strength. Tomorrow, I will sort out the roster and equipment of the fire team. Whatever it is, collecting supplies or finding dolls, the efforts of the field team are crucial. A very reasonable analysis. However, if you want to find dolls, you won't be able to rely solely on the field team's manual search. This is the cloud, and Persicalia should have information of dolls participating in the Project Nero cloud. So, you can search for dolls' minds through the search terminal. Search terminal? Well, you can search and confirm the coordinates of the dolls based on the feature code. It is very convenient, right? As for the construction methods, you can leave it to Persicalia and the girl named Croc. That's it? I didn't expect you to understand this. The purple-haired dolls notice the question hidden in my words and jokingly use other excuses to pass the topic. This is just the experience of some older people. If you have experiences as much as me, you will have heard of those technologies to some extent. If you don't understand anything later, you can ask me. It just so happened that what I am most worried about now is the safety of the Oasis. After opening the sectors like this, we really no longer have to worry about the intrusion of the centrifuges. Centrifuges are the least thing that we have to worry later on. If it is an ordinary sector firewall, centrifuges, as an antivirus program, has operating rights and can manually pass through it freely. But according to my observations, Persicalia has opened the sandbox area of the Oasis. With the sandbox area, you can freely set the pass list, and the centrifuges should not be able to enter. This child is very cautious, and since she can open the sandbox area, it means that the child's permissions are also very special. You have to cherish her. I will. However, if you want to go further, ensure the security of the Oasis, it is best to hide the coordinates of the Oasis. Hidden coordinates? How to do this? Well, if only Antonida were here. There's no other way. Before I find her, let me teach you step by step. Look, I have preset a sector here, and this is its coordinates position. Something failed. Under Sangomi's operation, the coordinates presenting the preset sector of the ordinary map has disappeared, and its existence could not be discovered through ordinary search methods. You see? Like this, the centrifuge has no way of detecting the sector. Of course, this is a reality simple hiding method, and you can try better hiding methods along this line of thinking. So, do you need me to demonstrate it again? Judging by your expression, do you have any more questions? Sangoma, where did you learn these operations? As I said, this is experience. No, this is not a word of experience that can cover up the past. Whatever it is, your familiarity with the clouds or your response to the centrifuges, these experiences are definitely not something that ordinary dolls can learn and master. And you just said to catch up with friends. Could it be? Huh? Oops, my mental system is already sounding the alarm. I was so anxious to see you that I forgot that an old model like mine cannot stay on standby for so long. It seems that they will go to sleep as soon as possible. Fortunately, this is your dormitory. It should be okay if I have a little rest for a night, right? Don't change the subject. Oh, can't? Looking at Sangoma's pleading eyes, I knew that there was no way to get the results if I continue, so I could only sigh. Oh, well, you can rest here. Thank you very much for your hard working during this time. Aren't you tired? Have you been working for a long time? I still have things to deal with. Wait! Regardless of my objection, Sangoma grabbed me and fell on the bed with me. Hello. We already have this. It is time to walk during the day, and now it is time to be a good kid to go to bed. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. At least let me go first. Hey! Carl. Before I finished speaking, Sangoma has already hugged me and went into sleep. I tried struggling to escape from Sangoma's arms, but it was all in vain. Sangoma's strength must be too great. I wonder if there's a module in the cloud that can increase the strength. Alas, it looks like I won't be able to sleep well today either. Wow, that was a long chapter, and such an awesome moment with Persicalia, and Professor just never losing it, like literally optimismus over the top. And even if it does not correspond to my actual plans, you never know. Did not expect in the mid-chapter being so long. But we will end this part here. Thank you for watching, listening. I wish you a good day, night, afternoon, and see you in part 3.